the boat. It's absolutely incredible. We're on our maiden voyage. We're doing our sea trial out here in Bodega Bay. And I gotta say that this thing is running awesome, man. So, on the boat, it's crazy. Yeah, that's the news. That's the project. I've been working on it for the last 2 months. So I haven't done a project in probably about 5 years. The last time was drone access, the drone truck, the drone racing events. Well, you know what? I've been sitting down on my ass for way too long. It's time for a new project. Well, here we are out here on the ocean. Crab season opens next month. We got the boat. We've been busting our asses to get this thing going. I'm out here with my buddy Kingsy, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this thing through the paces. We're doing the shakedown today. October, what is it? It's October 11th, Friday, and we're doing the shakedown in Bodega Bay. Everything seems to be working great. We had little starting issues, whatever. She's a little cold-blooded, but you know what? Hindsight's 2020. Got her warmed up. Dude, she is doing good. This boat's got radar, VHF antenna. It's got a depth sounder, fish finder, run a little four banger, so she's just sipping the tea, baby, sipping the tea. Got a 50-gallon tank, and she's running solid. She ain't getting there fast, but she's getting there. Take a look here. Got that radar dome up there. We got our anchor light. Got our ice chest. Careful, got a little splash going. Got a little splash. Whoa, what is going on? I'm in a boat. I'm on the ocean, and I'm yelling about things, and there's a fuzzy-haired dude driving us. Like, what is going on? Okay. Let's just kind of backtrack a little bit. Let's take a moment. There's a story, and the story, I think, needs to be told before we can move forward with any of the video that you just saw and more to come. So, what you're seeing on your screen, this picture, is what I had seen the first time I seen the boat that we were just on a minute ago. This boat was listed on Facebook Marketplace, and I ran across it. It literally was like 9 minutes up the road, and we were planning on purchasing a boat in 2025. But I was bored. I grabbed my kid. We went and took a look at it, and this is it. This is the boat. Pretty crappy pictures. There's a total of 4. This is what I originally seen. Was this and these other 3 pictures. This is the inside, and this is a picture from the outside of the pilot house looking in, very vague, not really a lot to see there. And then this is the back of the boat. But this kind of sparked my interest. It looks clean. It's the interior. Look nice. So we went and we looked at it, and we went again, looked at it again. A buddy of mine went and looked at it, kind of gave it a once over and said, yeah, it doesn't look bad. I mean, it does, because these pictures don't do it justice. But the guy listed it for $5,000. He thought it was out of registration, and he came down $1,000 on it, ended up picking it up for $4,000. And this is where the journey begins. This is the very first part of how this thing even became a thing. Okay, let's dive a little deeper into the story. How did this boat get to be like this? because this boat originally wasn't like this. Uh, at first glance, you kind of look at something and you see the good and the bad. I don't know, maybe I was looking at it and saw more good than bad. Um, but I started, to really take a serious look into this thing. And we struck a deal, signed a contract. And at that point, I was locked in. So was he. Um, there were some things. This is a decent sized boat. It's 24 foot. From the ground to the top of the radar is almost 12 feet. Um, it's a big boat, and so safety is an issue. And you know, I was thinking when I started looking at this and started doing research on, what am I going to do? How are we going to get this thing to where it's even safe to pull out of this guy's house? Um, I was thinking I'm going to get some tires. And then I ended up finding a deal on some tires and wheels. But that was kind of short sighted. And I wanted to document the whole thing and video everything, but I didn't feel right doing it at his house. Now, this video is going to end up being a little bit longer than what I want it to be, but this video is kind of like the foundation for everything that has happened in the time frame, the whole journey with this boat. Um, this boat was the seller's passion, and this boat didn't have a motor in it at the time, from what I understand, and it wasn't running, but it was in pretty decent shape. Um, and he contracted a mechanic, and they did work, and they got it to where it was back then. Um, the seller ended up having some medical issues, and then he had a stroke. And once he had the stroke, that was it. The boat, the dream, everything was pretty much done. And this boat, from what I understand, has been sitting in this exact same place for about 5-6 years, basically just rotting into his driveway. Um, so going into it a little bit differently, I'll show you a picture of it, more recent to the owner. Uh, this picture here, I don't. The paint, everything looks a lot better than this picture. So he was starting it regularly in his driveway, but once he had the stroke, that was the end of that. Um, and again, he did list it as not running, but basically the issues was the batteries were dead, and there were 3 batteries in there, and he replaced one of them. Um, but the one that he replaced was hooked up to the wrong bank, and that's why it didn't start. Um, anyways, so let's move on. So basically, the boat is purchased, and now we need to, get it where it needs to be. All right, so now we're gonna start working on this thing, and we start with the trailer. The trailer is basically the foundation, and I had replaced the wheels, tires, and hubs. But then looking at this picture, you're able to start to see the springs in there. Um, this is the hub that I replaced, but you can see right behind the hub, the springs are shot. They really are. They're terrible. So I decided to order all of the hardware and replace the balancers and springs. It was just the right thing to do. And now, like, hindsight's 2020, but it really was the thing to do. Um, you can see here the better view. So we're just kind of gonna go through some of the pictures. So here you can see the new springs, in the center there's the balancer. Um, there's another picture of it. and then there. I mean, this was not an easy task. This was like almost a week of work, between cleaning up tires, hubs, springs, just a little bit every day. Working a full time job, getting off of that full time job to go work another full time job. Yeah, it took a lot out of me. But we persevered. We kept going, and then so this is one side. One side's done. We did tires, wheels, hubs, springs, all the hardware, all new wiring, all new lights, and we ended up putting on a new surge brake and tongue on the front. That kind of happened later over at my house, but the owner was flexible, and he knew that this was the only way that we're going to be able to get it out was to do this work there, and I'd got most of the trailer work done at his place. They look good. I'll tell you, the wheels and everything, they look great. So you can see here, this is a great view of how we did it. We got the jack stands in, and the jacks, basically tandem axle, and held the axles up, and we ended up having to cut some of this stuff out. It was terrible. um, but the new stuff, I get to that picture. Oh, here we go. So you can see the new stuff looks great, and you can see the axles, the springs, the hardware, the center balancer. It's coming together at this point. But this was a big job. Okay, so we had completed as much as we were going to do over at the previous owner's house. Now we had gotten it to my house. Um, the problem also, so bringing it here, I really didn't like the tongue, and that's what prompted to replace the tongue with a new surge brake. I felt like it wasn't grabbing the ball the way that it should, and I just wasn't comfortable with it. A lot of weight again, pulling that, a lot of liability. I just wanted it to be right. And you can see here we got it in there, and this is where we were gonna do all the work. So we started. So one of the misunderstandings that I had, really just kind of thinking that it was one way, but it was really another, was the battery system. So in here is where all the batteries were. There was three batteries. Well, originally, what I didn't understand that I understand now is the stock boat had a one bank system with two batteries, two lead acid, um, and that was it. So the third battery was added later. You got to figure this boat is like 40 years old, and in 40 years there was a lot of hands that had been doing things in this boat, and not all those people had the same vision. But anyways, my vision was to make it safe, to provide as much new as I could to it, to bring it up to current standards 2024. Um, so, thinking that it was a two bank system, which it wasn't, I had ordered parts to switch it over to lithium, and ordered all the stuff that I needed for that to preserve a two bank system that really wasn't a two bank, it was a one bank. So, yeah, that was interesting. But anyways, we pulled the batteries out, and you can see it's pretty clear. It's opened up the whole area. There was a plate down on the bottom there that held the two batteries, but anyways, it's all gone now. You can kind of see there's the bilge, one of the bilges, just dinky ass bilges. This boat, for all intents and purposes, was not for me going to be a lake boat. It was going to be an ocean boat, and that's where we were going to go with this. So every decision that was made with the premise that it was going to be in the ocean. So we wanted it to be as safe as possible. Um, so here's another picture in the engine. It's got a little four banger in it. Um, Another engine picture. So now in what was the toilet, uh, I started, was like, okay, what are we going to do? Where are we going to put the electrical? We got a lot of electrical to put in. So this is behind the helm in basically what was the toilet, which now I've deemed as the electrical room or electrical closet. And we're going to start putting the backboards on to hold the electrical. So there's the second board. We got the first one up, which looks amazing. We relocated, so underneath the driver's seat was a cooler, and we basically repurposed the cooler as the new battery box, which holds the two lithiums and the one lead acid. And yeah, it looks good in there. So we're gonna start adding components onto the electrical board. We got the two boards, and you can see we're starting to make progress. We're adding the stuff in there. We went with Blue Seas, went with the DC to DC charger, the Norco Genius battery maintainer and charger. That allows you to program each battery individually to what they are, and that way the Norco can charge it appropriately. And then just adding the bus bars, adding to the system. My goal was to cut out the old fuse panel and migrate everything over to the new. Uh, Again, there's a shunt in there, and there's a Victron monitoring system that monitors the house batteries and the starter battery, and has alarms when the system goes low. Basically, I didn't want anything on the starter battery except for the starter, and then the house would run everything else. We did add shore power. You can see that here. You can also see the hose and dangling down to the washdown system, which has all been refurbished. Um, and then you can see all the exercise that I got. This ladder going up and down, up and down, up and down, in and out of this boat, trying to get everything done as quickly as I could, but also doing it the right way. Here's more progress on the electrical components. Every time there's adding a little bit more to it, routing the wires. This is, you can see the top of the seat, and below there, this is what used to be the cooler, which is now where the batteries are. And here's the completed batteries in the old cooler, now battery box, all wired appropriately. Um, we started ripping the helm apart and rewiring, and we put some switch strips in, took out the old setup, and working on the new setup. Ended up putting in an access port. We had to redo the fuel line, the filler hose into the fuel tank directly underneath this access port, which we installed. Is perfect. It's right above the fuel tank and has all the access ports into the tank. You can see here, this is actually, it's open. You see the three in the sending unit. This up to the top here, this was the old access port, which they had cut a hole in and ran really thick wires across this fuel tank to an inverter, which I deemed to be unsafe, and removed it and replaced the access to basically clean it back up and make it back the way it was originally. We had to add access ports to each side. for the blower line hoses, and to get to the other side has a bilge line. Ended up replacing. See, here's a two. The one on the bottom was there, but we refreshed it, and then the one on the top we added. Um, we replaced all the bilge lines. This is the fillet hose coming through. Um, that's been that's new and been replaced. Right here is just another picture of the engine straight down, and you can see the new wiring. All the wiring now is all brand new, coming to the engine. We got the starter, the alternator, and the ground, and it all goes back up to the electrical room with on the appropriate bus bars. Picture of the pilot house, and here's a picture of the. So we couldn't salvage the old fuel neck, so we ended up putting a new one in there. Did my caulking skills have a little bit to be desired? But hey, it's sealed and it's new and it works. These are the new switches. They're marked, and they work. And we've gotten the whole upper set of switches are used, and then the one bottom right switch is being used, and then the rest of them are extras for later, which we're going to end up using a lot of that stuff for lighting and some other miscellaneous things. We're going to end up putting underwater lights and strip lights and other odds and ends. So they'll all get used, or a lot of them will get used at some point when we get to that part of the build. Um, you see right here, the drive's been removed, and he's had a mechanic help out and replacing and rebuilding the stern drive. It needed to be done. It had some issues, and the mechanic did a great job. And here it is. It's put back together, and we got the motor running. Again, the motor always ran. Just they didn't have the battery in the right place, but the motor runs great. And we got a new controller. Put that in, wired it up. And then here's the bilge system. You can see there's two bilges. The front one that says 2000, they're both 2000s, but the big one it's automated, so it has on, auto, and manual, and it's direct wire to the battery with the fuse, and that way when that thing's on, it's on. And then the second one is a backup, another 2000 gallon an hour that runs on a switch, so we got a backup system. And then you see all the bilge lines been replaced. There's another picture. You can see it's all cleaned up. All the wires are routed. It looks good. Here's the other side. There you see the macerator there, and it's got all new bilge line as well. And then we're testing out the bimini. The bimini looks great. It's up there. Again, boat looks good. The boat needs some paint restoration, and needs to be cut and waxed and all that good stuff. That's going to come later. It's not the priority. The priority is to get the boat on the water. And then here's another picture of that. I did a lot of work, and we've come a long way. So we've gone through all the pictures and everything for the the work that we've done up until this point. And now we're going to get into some video, and you're going to be able to see the fruits of the labor. This boat's pretty amazing, and I'm happy that I pulled the trigger and I got the boat. I'm happy that the seller decided to sell me the boat, and we're going to make some memories. We're going to go out. We're going to have fun. The family loves it. My friends love it. And this is what it's about. This boat is going to give us memories and adventures.
Okay.
All right. Hey, here we are. We're at Dorn Beach, and we're going to take our beautiful Real Salty out for the first time.
I'm gonna have to try to fucking. This is what, this is an 82?
82.
I don't know, dude. It's an 82.
83. I think it was made in 82 but sold in 83.
Oh, it was definitely an 82. The number right here. The last digits on all boats. That digit there is the year it was made. And it certainly ain't 2082.
That strap, I had to, that's a new strap. I had to put that on because it freaking broke.
It's a nice strap. You got any oars?
No oars.
The bilge plugs in too, yeah?
Should be.
This is his first day doing this for real. Let's see how we get this the first time. Straining in a bit, and he should be getting in. Looks like he's in. Yeah. It's time for it to ramp down. See how this goes. Never mind. All the way down. Here we go. Oh, that door's closing on its own. Okay.
Doing good, dude. Just do your thing.
Very close. Very close. And it looks like he's right on to the water.
Straight back.
Perfect. Here we go. It's getting submerged now. Well, here we are on the wire. It's time to disengage.
Well, I'm gonna have to release that strap because I'm running out of dry ground. So if it rolls back, it'll be perfect. To be honest with you. So I'm gonna release that strap. I already got that one on. Did you pull it up a little bit? Yeah, it's about 5 feet.
Oh. A little bit up, just to make it perfect.
That'll be alright, I guess.
Alright, this is good. Alright, time to disengage this. Let's see.
Alright, clear, back it up.
Back up now.
There she goes. Hey head, Steve. Yeah, hey head. Yeah, hey head, out of here.
Right out. Boat has left, but has been disengaged.
Go park it.
Right on, disengaged. The boat is ready. Gotta be careful. Oh. Look at that wiry mess.
Tell me if the drive's down.
It's down.
Go for a second. Do it up.
Jesus. Huh. Yeah. Okay, so we just arrived back. We have landed on the dock again, and we're gonna pull back the boat up. So far, it was very nice. Gotta see some amazing seals there, probably have shown, and some birds too along the way. But now, it's time to pack up. Pack up, we do. And the pack up will happen in just a moment. Okay, so we are getting the trailer. So I will be narrating this. We're gonna...
This is gonna be fun. No, it isn't.
It's one hell of a thing. Yeah, we're gonna get this boat back in here. We're loading the boat back up into the trailer this time, and oh boy, it's gonna be one wide. Alright, let's pay attention here. So if we get the trailer unloaded, he's gonna bring the boat over here, and we should be able to load the boat back up. He will get in, and as he'll get in, we will start moving the boat. So don't take a little too close for. Oh, look at the birds taking a visit to what we are doing. Hello, birds.
Keep going, you're good. That's it, not keep going, see, you're good.
Keep going.
Alright, now straighten your head down. Now straighten, there you go. Doing the wheel left. There you go. Now straight back, straight back. Perfect.
Should be touching the waters any moment now.
Fantastic, dude. Fantastic. Keep coming back. Keep it up. Keep it up. All right. Right there should be okay for now.
All right, perfect. Now,
there, I'll be right back.
all right. Now we're getting the boat. He's gonna rope the boat rope the boat in, moving it on the dockings pads. I am still recording, by the way. Moving in the boat. Getting in place. Let's see this in action. See if we get this in correctly.
It's gonna hurt if I fall.
Time to latch this to the boat, so we connected it to the trailer. pulling the lever in. Oh.
I don't know, this is fucking weird. Alright, right there. That's gonna be as good as it gets. 1 second.
Alright. Got it out. We've got the boat out. Let's see if we get this in place again. And maybe then we will be good.
Yes, that's perfectly fine.
Alright, time for inspection.
Alright, bye. Making me work, motherfucker.
It looks better. Oh, that's as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah, sort of hold it up.
Not good.
Yeah, that's just. Isn't that funny? This is from the ramp. There's something up with the thing was shaking like this.
Yeah.
When it was at low speeds. Could be an oil thing. Got a nicked prop here. You need to get that straightened out.
That could have been part of it too.
Yeah, I doubt it that way. That kind of stuff. Oh. Is it unlocked? Well, good job, dude.
Well, I appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
I would have been fucked without you.
Well, it was your
Stop
Maiden
recording.
Voyage, and I'm like, I don't want